Kapow! Hello and welcome to Stanchion Snacks, a bit of a mouthful, the cooking show where I create a dish that represents a past player of Southampton and our weekly opponents. So this week's Stoke. Now there's actually a lot of players that have played for Southampton and Stoke, but when I noticed this name on the list, and he is quite a controversial figure, it got me quite excited about a particular dish. So today's episode is referencing Bruce Grobbelaar. Now, Bruce is from Durban in South Africa, and that got me very excited about sharing a dish from Durban called bunny chow. Bunny chow doesn't involve any rabbits, don't worry. No rabbits were harmed in the filming of this episode. It refers to the Indian population that made and sold this particular dish. Chow just meaning food. So it's basically a curry. So we're going to be making a potato and chickpea masala kind of thing, but then it is presented and eaten in a very interesting way. So let's kick things off with the potato. We'll give it a quick rinsey poo. We're just going to cut this into some sort of random pieces. So in half, quarter, and then maybe that next piece into 3. As long as these are all the same size, it doesn't really matter. Potato, we always cook in cold water. Anything that grows under the ground, start cooking in cold water. Anything that grows above the ground, start cooking in boiling water. You're welcome. We want to try and get some sort of flavors and some spices into this early. So first of all, a good pinch of salt. I only use Maldon's. A little bit of turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon, and then a clove of garlic. And we're just going to crush this, or 2. Look, 2's come off. Let's put 2 in. Who cares? And that's it. 2 cloves of garlic in there. Nice heat. Skins and all. Potatoes done. So let's start the sauce. So a sort of masala sauce. So I'm going to do a mix of white onion. Nice fine slice. When you get to the end like this, you can always turn it around. Keep it nice and flat. And then also some banana shallots. This sort of sweetness will be good. Look at that again, just turn it around. Then into a pan with a little bit of oil and some butter. Pinch of salt, nice low heat. And we want these to brown but not burn. And when these skins just start to come away from the potatoes, we get them out and we'll continue the next stage. Look at them, look how beautiful and yellow they've gone. Right, so we'll keep that water that we've cooked in. That's going to be our stock. So once they've had a bit of a cool down through a colander, we're just going to put them on a nice flat tray. Hit that with a little bit of oil. Then I've just got a little bit of Tandoori spice. So I'm going to put maybe like a sort of a good 1/2 teaspoon. Give them a little bit of a sort of mix round. And then we're going to roast those through the oven. So we're going to end up with like sort of a nice sort of tandoori roast potato masala. Bit sexy, I know. Then a thumb-sized piece of ginger, look at that. That's almost perfect, isn't it? My top tip for peeling ginger is to use a spoon. This is something I have spoken about before, but look at that. Just runs straight off, you can go all in the edges. And then a very quick rough chop, because we're then going to pound that up in a pestle and mortar. So just a little bit of salt first to break it down. If you don't have a pestle and mortar, get one. Get a good one made of stone. And then we're just going to scrape that out, but you don't need to wash the pestle and mortar, and we're going to do exactly the same with some garlic. And you can scrape that out, but look, if you've got a bit of garlic on there, just wash that off in that potato water. It's all flavour. So look at this now, lovely and sort of brown and caramelised, but not burnt. In with our ginger, a good teaspoon. If you end up with more, don't put it all in, you can always sort of save it. And then in with the garlic, a good teaspoon of tomato paste, some kind of chili powder. I'm actually going to put a bit of harissa in here, but this is hot, so I'm only putting a little bit in. So to that, we're going to add some tomatoes, and I like to use fresh tomatoes at this point as opposed to tinned. So again, just kind of rough bits. I may be cutting them into half into 6. Then that can go straight in there. Then you can just top it up with stock. You don't want too much, a little bit at a time. Just putting a bit of garam masala in there. And then maybe just a little bit of curry powder, whatever you've got lying around again. And into there at this point, a whole tin of chickpeas. So then to finish the sauce, first of all, some butter. Give that 5 minutes just to tick away. And some good quality double cream to thick. And just another 5 minutes. And then finally, these lovely, crispy roast potatoes. Just a little fold through. Now the interesting bit, well, the really interesting bit is the presentation and how you eat this. So I've got a little mini, this is a 370 gram loaf. And I think I'm going to cut this, I think not quite in half, maybe a good third. With a small knife, or you can use your hands, we're just going to cut the middle out. This kind of almost reminds me of when you were a naughty little boy. I can remember I used to sort of just pull all the middle of the bread out. What I would do at that point is roll it up into a little ball and eat it like that. Miracle, I can digest anything. So we have this little case. We have the middle, which we're still going to use. So you can break these into little bits. Breadcrumbs in the curry, why not? And then you put the curry inside the bread. And then get these little bits, pop them back on. Maybe a few little fresh herbs. And that's it. Bunny chow, done. What a dish. I'm excited about this one. Look at it. So first of all, I guess, I mean, you wouldn't use a knife for it. You can just get these little bits. Look at these potatoes. They're still a bit crispy, roasty. They've actually got a fair amount of heat on them. The curry is absolutely delicious. A little bit of potato, a little bit of bread. It's absolutely delicious. If you try anything from this channel, try this curry. If the fact that it's in a great big slab of bread is putting you off, just realise the last time we played Stoke, I made another curry, and I actually made a hybrid of a Staffordshire oatcake and a paratha. So you could make this curry and then serve it with this. I'll link it to the end of the thing. Bunny chow. My hat tip to Bruce Grobbelaar. This is a bit of a mouthful.
Even the Arsenal fans mischievously waving £10 notes in the air raised a smile from Bruce. It's towards Campbell, who's free, and in goes Dickoff. Really good save by Grobbelaar. Dickoff against Grobbelaar. Oh, he's missed it.